Assalamualaikum to my beloved panel and to my viewers. So, this is the final year project one of MSc 601 proposal presentation of UiTM Shah Alam semester 7. Okay, so before I start my proposal presentation, I would like to introduce to my project title, which is the study of shoulder muscle and forearm extensor muscle activation in golf putting using electromyography, or also known as EMG. And I would like to introduce to my supervisor name, which is IR Dr. TS Muhammad Azim bin Majuso, and my staff name is Afiq Affkar Bin Zulhakim. And I will continue on the introduction. So, golf is an established sport which requires for a high level of dexterity and body control. Golfers must use their muscles efficiently to achieve the necessary force and precision in their strokes. The upper body extensor muscles, in particular, are recognized to be important in the golf swings or in the golf putting. It is thought that creating an efficient golf swings or putting depends on the timing and synchronization of muscle activation, depending on their degree of expertise and experience. It also likely that professional and amateur golfers have different muscle activation patterns. A popular method for this is electromyography or EMG, although it has certain drawbacks, including the requirements for skin preparation and the possibility for movement artifact. The design and analysis of the study must carefully take these constraints into account. So, I would like to continue with my introduction. In this study, a group of non-experienced and experienced golfers will have their upper body extensor muscles and shoulder muscles activation during the golf putting monitored using the electromyography or EMG setup. And we will contrast the activation profiles of the two groups and look for any associations with golfing ability. We will also take into account additional elements such as grip strength and club head speed that might affect muscle activation. The shoulder muscle and extensor muscles in the upper body that are engaged during the golf swing will be the special subject of this study. So these additional elements will take into account because in the experiments the data may be different. What we want to. So I would like to continue with the problem statement, which may affect in this project. So number one is the different posture of the golfer. So the posture among golfers are different based on their own comfort, which make the activation of muscles different among them. Which means like the non-experienced golfer didn't have their comfort zone because they don't know how to stand better, to hold the club better, and to swing better. Not like the experienced golfer, which they know how to swing better, stand better, and hold the club better, which means they have their comfort zone. So number two is the restricted movement using EMG sensor. Excessive movement while conducting the experiment will give different result and reduce the accuracy of result gain, which means like the less movement may give the different result. So number three is the environment temperature and humidity. In cold condition will make the muscle movement different than in warm condition, which also can give different result on the muscle movement. So like in the rain weather or in sunny weather, the contraction and the movement of the muscles may be different. Next, for the objective from this project is to compare between non-experienced and experienced golfer extensor muscle and shoulder muscle activation patterns during putting by utilizing an EMG with an Arduino sensor. So the next one is to verify the relationship between shoulder muscle and extensor muscle activation patterns and putting performance. And the last one is to identify which muscle will be affected more on the golfing putting performance. Next is the literature review. So based on the study article or research article. So in this article, an electromyographic study of the effect of hand grip size on forearm muscles activity and golf performance is stated that the technique known as electromyography EMG is frequently employed to assess muscle function It is a method that may be used to gauge and lower the risk of damage by anticipating the stresses put on the musculoskeletal system. Numerous MG studies have been carried out to examine the activation of specific muscles during the golf swings. An innovative method to extract muscle activations from electromyography EMG signals using a neural network has been suggested and achieved. So in this article, I can take that the EMG, the electromyography, is related to find the muscles data. So in the next article of the hand grip force estimation based on a method using surface electromyography of extensor carpi radialis longus. In this article, it explains that after being pre-processed using the root mean square or RMS approach, the MG data are then normalized using the MG amplitude value associated with the MVC. Statistics are used to compare the root mean square error of the predicted force output for each voluntary trial over various force range. The findings show that the linear model may be used to predict hand grip force based on forearm extensor muscle EMG activity, and that the accuracy of this model depends on the magnitude of the applied force. So in this article, it explains that the data that will be collected is using the RMS approach, and it may be differ with the magnitude of the applied force on the golf putting. So yeah. For the scope of study in this project is first to understand the function of these muscles and how they affect the length and precision of putting. One approach would be to utilize electromyography to track the activity of the deltoid and extensor carpi radialis muscles during the putting motions and examine the data to determine the roles played by these muscles in the putting stroke. This means like to determine which muscles have affected more when golf putting performance are conducted. So the next one is additional elements that may influence muscle activation during golf putting include the putter use and the state of the putting grip. So this study hope that by examining these parameters, it will be able to determine how to optimize muscle activation and to increase the accuracy and the distance of golf putts. This means like using different brand of putter, it will be giving the different putting performance. So next one is the methodology. So the method that we use for this experiment or this project is by conducting an experiment by using the electromyography setup. So the muscles that will be tested in this project are the shoulder muscles, which is the deltoid muscle, and the extensor forearm muscle, which is the extensor carpi radialis longus. And so the subjected will be two participants involved, which are one with the non-experienced golfer, and the other one is the one with the experienced golfer, which had an experience at least 3 years. So the result then will be compared by both participant and both hand muscle, which is the left hand muscle and the right hand muscle. So the flowchart of the experiment has been drafted and made. So the first one is the electromyography setup. So the next one, the EMG sensor will be attached to the participant chosen muscles like the forearm and the shoulder muscle. And then the participant will then be performing the golf putting process using the real golf club. And then the result then be taken to see the activation of the muscles. The result of the both muscles then compared to make an analysis. If the result is not valid or not significant, the golf putting process will be repeated by the participant. And then if the result is valid and significant, the data will be collected. The next one is the preliminary result. These are the preliminary result of the experiment which will be taken. So the result that will be taken will be based on the two data, which is the EMG signal and the one is the RMS signal. So the above figure is the example of the EMG signal result, and below is the example of the RMS graph. So the data will be looking like this, and the data collected will be compared with the shoulder muscle and the extensor muscle. So finally is the discussion and conclusion. So the discussion for this project is the electromyography is a method for measuring muscle electrical activity. It is useful for studying the activation of any muscles during golf putting or golf swings or any sports. So the MG data may then be examined to determine muscle activation levels throughout the various parts of the golf swings or putting. So the deltoid muscles are set of shoulder muscles that work to abduct, flex, and extend the arm. And the forearm muscles, known as the extensor radialis, are responsible for the wrist extension and abduction. So this is the functions of the both muscles. So for the conclusion, so to better understand the muscles coordination and timing involved in the golf swings or putting, and to locate any muscles imbalance or weakness that may be contribute to poor putting performance. And the electromyography can be used to study these muscles of the during the golf putting. So the next one is to learn how to use how these muscles function during a golf swing and how to strengthen and better coordinate through the practice. Okay, so that's all from me. And so thank you for listening and have a nice day.